Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Brew Jackets. It's a fun Blue Jackets theme podcast. My name is Kevin, and joining me tonight is my co-host Hefty Duck. Other people may come on the show because we invite them, like we always do, and if they don't, that's okay. There's always next time. Anyways, a lot of stuff going on in the Blue Jackets world since our last show. The Blue Jackets have played 4 games, and they've won all 4. It was awesome. The Blue Jackets beat the Ottawa Senators 5-2. They beat the Buffalo Sabres 3-2. They beat the Washington Capitals 7-0. Absolutely smoked them. I was at that game. It was cool. And they beat the Washington Capitals again 4-1. So much positivity and awesome stuff happening in those games, and we're going to talk about it. Zach Werenski sets a new Blue Jackets record for most goals scored by a defenseman in Blue Jackets history. We're going to talk about that. Jet Greaves, he's been awesome. He's the first star of the week in the NHL. He got his first NHL shutout. There was Michigan magic for the Blue Jackets. We're going to talk about that, some Adam Fantilli highlights, and so much more. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Welcome in. Hope everyone has had a good week. I know I've had a good week, especially with the wins from both the Blue Jackets and the Cleveland Guardians. I don't know how the Reds been doing. They had a couple wins here recently at all.
They swept Pittsburgh.
Nice, dude. Fuck Pittsburgh. For real, though. Hell yeah. Love to hear it.
No, that's just, it's great. And Ellie Dela Cruz got a grand slam on his bobblehead day to help the Reds win 5-2. And, it's good. I'm always wearing my Red stuff on the show, and it's just good to see Hefty Duck, supporting Americans because that's who he likes. And that's cool. We like different baseball teams, but we come together because we like the Blue Jackets.
Every one of them has a C logo anyway, so what's the difference between...
Right.
Anyway. Yeah, I saw Jonathan India is not playing. He's playing for the Royals now or whatever.
Yeah, so the Reds traded him to get Brady Singer, a pitcher out of Kansas City. The Reds, and he's to help strengthen the Reds pitching, and it has worked out so far.
Yeah, I just thought Jonathan India was pretty good. I had him on my fantasy team last year, but the way she goes, man, we had some good players leave the Guardians too. But enough about baseball for now. Kevin has a fun story from this weekend to talk about as well. Couple things in news, as Kevin mentioned. Jet Greaves got his first NHL shutout on Saturday in the Blue Jackets 7-0 win against the Washington Capitals. And what a win that was. They won again, too. I love to see it. And he's got a picture here for us. Also, yeah, thanks for joining us from audio listeners. Thanks for joining us from YouTube. Thanks for joining us from Twitter, wherever you're watching or listening from. We appreciate you. We will be having this show the same time, same day next week on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So anyway, here's a little graphic from the Blue Jackets. This is Jet Greaves' first career shutout, number 73. So one of the first goaltenders for Columbus that hasn't had a 0 at the end of their name, and at the end of their number, I mean. And yeah, love to see it. Dude's been doing great. I mean, that's our goalie. I mean, he's only got a one-way contract next year. The way that looked, that looks like the Blue Jackets goalie. To me. Yeah. No, not trying to put anyone else down to say he's good. He's just, that was a solid performance. He not only got his a win, but then he got a second win as well. So so cool, man.
Jet Greaves is also the first star of the week.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to quickly just put up the little graphic that the Blue Jackets posted up on the screen. So here we go. So here it is right here. There it is. Boom. There we go. Look, there it is. It is. There it is. Jet Greaves, first star of the week in the NHL.
That is crazy. I mean, he hasn't had like a ton of games this year. I got his stats real quick. So games played 9. He started 9 of those, so he hasn't been yanked or put in for anyone else. And then he's got 5 wins and 2 losses. So I got some echo, but I think we're good now. Maybe? Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter to me right now. Anyway, so he had 2 ties / overtime losses, so that's where the other 2 games are at for there. But yeah, I'm getting a little bit of echo back from you, Kev. Nothing too crazy, but I do hear it in mine. My headset. And so anyway, in those 9 games, he has a save percentage of 926, which is fantastic. Now, granted, it's a small sample size; it's not even 10 full games. But let me check something real quick. Let's see if that does it. Anyway, so yeah, not like he has like a ton of minutes this year or anything like that, but 20 goals against, 270 shots, 200. That means 252 saves. Goals against average of 222, 1 shutout. So each one of the Columbus Blue Jackets goalies has 1 shutout this year. So congrats to all of them. Great start by Jet Greaves. Can't wait to see what you do next week. Anyway, we'll talk more about him when we get to his games here a little bit. But let's first talk about the Blue Jackets win over the Ottawa Senators. This was last Tuesday, April the 8th. And it saw the Ottawa Senators come into town to play the Blue Jackets at home. So right off the rip, I mean, there's definitely a 3-goal difference, but they had very similar shots. In fact, they had the exact same shots on goal, 35 each. And so it wasn't like one team was getting way far ahead of the other. Voronkov started out the scoring, his 21st of the year. That makes 5 Blue Jackets. Wait, let me see real quick. Point goals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that makes 5 Blue Jackets with 20 goals or more, and Monahan right on the cusp of with 19, and Olivier right behind that with 18. So Dmitry Voronkov making it count. Then Justin Danforth scored a goal. He was let's see, that was about at 16 minutes 38 seconds into the period. That was it for that first period, and then the one thing that's been haunting the Blue Jackets for a while now, the power play or the penalty kill. And so Ottawa was able to get a power play goal from Zetterlund. But then Olivier answered back about 3 minutes later towards the end of the period and got a deflection in. So the Blue Jackets would get their own power play goal when Sean Monahan scored his 18th of the season. The start of the third period, Fantilli scored yet his 25th of the season, and then Thomas Chabot scored 1 for Ottawa to end the scoring for the day. So a couple dumb penalties here. That shit happens. You know, Fantilli got a delay game, puck over the glass in the first period. And then a dumb penalty for Ottawa, Nicholas Montepallo. He's the one that got the power play goal, the power play that Sean Monahan scored on, I believe. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was the wrong period. That was Stützle in the third period for them. Never mind. Anyway, nothing super crazy otherwise. There was a little bit of roughing Monahan against Greig, but nothing like to write home about. Not like we'll talk about that in some games. So the 3 stars of the game for that, Matthew Olivier was the first star because he had 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. Elvis Merzlikins was number 2. He had 2.01 goals against average and 943 save percentage. Love to see it. And Danforth was 3rd star of the game with 1 goal, 1 assist as well. So what'd you think, Kev?
Honestly, that was a 8 out of 10 for me. Pretty good game there. You had a good first period. You went up scored 2 goals. You took 2. You were winning 2-0. You go into the second period up 2-0. You give up a goal there to make it 2-1. You give up a goal, make it 2-1. You're going into the third period up to 2-1. But then in the third period, you really take it over by scoring 3 goals. That is awesome and great to see. Adam Fantilli, big breakaway goal to make it 5-1. Yeah, Ottawa scores makes it 5-2, but overall, pretty good game there. Elvis Merzlikins making some big saves to keep the Blue Jackets in it, to give them a chance to settle in, score some goals. That's what you want. It's a good effort, and the Blue Jackets, and I'll be saying this for every game that they played last week, which is this. The Blue Jackets are in a situation where they need to win every single game to get in and hope that Montreal loses. They cannot afford to lose any games. The moment, in the event that they lose a game, they're done from a playoff perspective. They're not getting in if they lose a game. But if they keep winning and Montreal loses all their games, the Blue Jackets will get in. So when you're basically at a point to where you have to win every game, this is it. You got to step it up. And that's what the Blue Jackets did. To me, it's very reminiscent back in the 2018-2019 season. There were 8 games to go. The Blue Jackets were one of like 3 teams fighting for a playoff spot. And it's just like, all right, we need to win. We can't really afford to lose anymore. And they went on a heater and they went 7-1. And that's what got them in. The Blue Jackets are going to have to do basically the same exact thing, minus that 1 loss. But point being, like the team in 2018, 2019, they're going to have to do what they did, which is go on a heater, win games, get in. They're in the process of doing that right now because they've won 4, and now they just need to keep going. So that game against Ottawa, 8 out of 10, pretty good game there. When you needed to score goals, you scored goals. Elvis Merzlikins made some big saves to keep you in the game. And you needed to win that game, and you did. And that was just step 1 of what you need to do.
Yeah. Well, and the next game against Buffalo, they did not start out very good for them. This one was, scary from the get-go. And even kind of at this point, so like last Tuesday, their chance of getting into the playoffs was like 0.03 or some shit like that, or 0.3. And as this week has gone on, the odds have gotten higher. I don't know exactly what it is, but last I looked, it was like at least 1.8%, which like I would say at least, but like that's a big jump. That's more than double what it was last week. And what we need right now, too, what we really need, Montreal Canadiens are playing the Chicago Blackhawks right now, and we need good old Nick Foligno and Connor Bedard to come through for the Blue Jackets and beat Montreal, and then the Jackets still need to win.
Yes, give it to me. Let's go.
Let's go, Nick Foligno. One more thing. I seen this actually earlier. This is why it makes me think of it. I forget. I think it was News 6. Someone, one of the news people around Columbus posted something about like, hey, Captain Nick Foligno, ABC 6.
ABC 6.
Yeah. Hey, Nick, Captain Foligno, sir. I know it's been a while, but we just wanted to reach out and say how much we truly appreciate you, and just wanted to remind you, for no reason other than we miss you, that you will be forever in our hearts. And it goes on to say some nice things about Nick Foligno, but they say that tonight you have a chance to give the city another great moment. and just rooting for him against the Montreal Canadiens. I love to see it. That's awesome. So yeah, go Blackhawks. Ugh, whatever.
I live in Illinois, so I'm
I
the
know.
Blackhawks TV market, and I can't watch it because the Blackhawks have a new TV network that you have to pay like $20 a month to get it. So I'm like, I'm not doing that. So no,
That's funny.
you know, I've talked about this on the show, but back in February when the Blue Jackets played the Blackhawks, I had to go to my cousin Larry's house because he pays the extra money for the Blackhawks channel because he's a big sports guy. And I saw like, and we called him like, Larry, can we go to your house to watch the Blue Jackets play the Blackhawks? He's like, yeah, all right. So we went over. You know, before the Blackhawks having their new channel, I could literally just turn on the TV right now and watch it. And I could give you like live updates right now, but I can't do that because the Blackhawks have a new TV channel you got to pay money for. And I don't really like the Blackhawks that much, so no, I'm not going to do that. So best of luck to you, Monster Blackhawks. I hope you do it. I hope you do it.
And something funny about that game tonight too is on the color commentary for the game is none other than Blue Jackets' own Jody Shelley. So if you are tuning in for that game, you're gonna hear a familiar voice out there anyway. So good luck to them. Anyway, so like I said, the scoring started off bad for the Blue Jackets. Buffalo started out about 12 minutes into the game. JJ Peterka got his 25th goal of the season. So he's no slouch. He's got 25 goals. You give him those chances, he's going to take it. Then Rasmus Dahlin, a couple minutes later, got his 16th of the season too. Dahlin, known quality player for Buffalo as well. But then JVR, the goal, James Van Riemsdyk, did give the Blue Jackets at least it cut the lead in half and got one goal 10 seconds before the end of the period. So no scoring happened in the second period. But then Zach Aston Reese, he got his 6th goal of the season with Goodbranson giving him his 3rd assist of the season to tie it up 4 minutes into the third period. And just under 3 minutes later, the Blue Jackets would once again strike on the power play. Boone Jenner, his 7th goal of the season. Marchenko's 40th assist and Monahan's 33rd. So that was the game winner goal, and that was 6 minutes 4 seconds into the final period. Not a single penalty the first 2 periods. Nothing. Not a little nothing. And until the third period, that one Buffalo got that one penalty, and they paid for it. It was Lafferty got a slashing call against Werenski. And then, unfortunately, towards the end, the Blue Jackets did almost give them a chance when Denton Matejchuk got a delay of game penalty with the puck over the glass. So that shit's going to happen, especially with maybe some of the younger guys. It just is. But luckily, nothing came of it. And yeah, 3 stars of the game. So here we have Jet Greaves. He won this game for the Blue Jackets, or helped to win. A save percentage of .951. Buffalo had 41 shots on goal to the Blue Jackets 30. So they had 11 more shots, but 1 less goal. So huge save percentage for Greaves in that. Huge props to Greaves for keeping him in that game. Boone Jenner got the game winner goal, so he is the star number 2 of the night. And then Dahlin is the 3rd star of the night for Buffalo with 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. So yeah, Blue Jackets 100% on the power play. They had 1. Buffalo 0% on the power play. They also had 1. So yeah, a pretty even game for the most part. Blue Jackets have been really been playing and really showing this like a really physically aggressive and strong play for like quite a while now, like most of the whole season. And for the most part, they have more hits than the other team for the most part. We kind of see this. We saw it happen with Minnesota too. When Dean Evason was the coaching over there. And it's good to see some of the guys in the Blue Jackets who maybe had been holding back a bit being like, oh shit, no, I am a big dude. Shit, I'm like 6'2", 6'3", and like throwing their weight around a bit more. Especially the younger guys are getting older, building more muscle. So, what do you think of the game?
Yeah, so that game started out awful. You just no, it was just terrible because you give up 2 quick goals quickly, and, you know, I can't really fault the first one because that was just a snipe. He just blew it past Jet Greaves. There really wasn't anything he could have done about that one. But the second goal that they give up, that's a big no-no. You just can't do that because the Blue Jackets couldn't get it out. They couldn't get it out. And
Yeah.
when you can't get it out, your defense can only do so much. They can only do so much before it gets in the net. And that's what happened. Because you don't get it out, eventually Buffalo scores because it's just too much. You can't do that. You got to get the puck out. I was ready to give that period 0 out of 10. I was ready.
Yeah.
I was ready to say 0 out of 10. But then James Van Riemsdyk coming in hot with a big goal, less than a minute to go, scores to make it 2-1. So now instead of being 0 out of 10 first period, it's 1 out of 10 first period. Because a little positivity towards the end, a little momentum that you can build on. Looking back on that goal, that's probably a goal that Buffalo's goalie James Reimer would like to have back because it was kind of a squeaker. Because Van Riemsdyk, he's going in on the breakaway, kind of shoots it like 5-hole area, and he gets a piece of it, and then he kind of backs into the net to try and stop it, and then it just kind of squeaks through. And it's like, man, he should have had that one. And that goal did end up being a big difference because you don't give up that goal. It's tied up at 2. It probably goes to overtime, and maybe the Sabres still have a chance to win it. Blue Jackets too, but that don't like the Sabres. But I would imagine that's a game the Sabres are probably looking back at like, damn, we should have had that one because for a good chunk of that game, you were playing a pretty good game there. You didn't really give nothing from at least what I remember, nothing to shoot at in the second period for the Blue Jackets. It was only in the third period when you get a big goal from Boone Jenner to tie it. No, I'm sorry. Zach Aston Reese, he ties it, and it's just a simple shot. Up high by the point, put it on net, shoot, score. That's what had to be done because Buffalo was just playing good defense and giving the Blue Jackets nothing to shoot at. And there are times that the Blue Jackets had some opportunities to shoot the puck, and they just pass it up. One too many passes, the play gets picked off, it goes the other way. And it was frustrating. Voronkov had a wide open chance, and he tried passing it. It gets picked off. It goes the other way. That happened multiple times with different Blue Jackets players too. But then in the third period, I don't know if this happened or not, but I am of the belief that in the second period intermission that Dean Evison probably told him, guys, shoot the puck. We need to put pucks on net. We can't keep doing this pass, pass, pass thing. Because that's what happens. Zach Aston Reese gets a puck up high, shoots, scores. It's 2-2. And the power play goal to Boone Jenner is set up because they got a couple shots on net. Buffalo stops a couple of them and then rebound right in front of Boone Jenner, shoots, scores. And then after that, they played a good defensive game, lock it down. Jack Greaves making some big saves to keep the Blue Jackets in the game, and they win. That's what you like to see. So I'd say 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just that made me too nervous to really be able to like have been comfortable saying that was an A or a 10 out of 10 or anything like that. But so the next game was the one we were all I was kind of nervous about this one.
Yep.
Yeah, the Blue Jackets coming in against the number one team in the NHL, with the best goal scorer of all time on their team, and we have Jet Greaves, kind of a rookie goaltender in goal, against Mister the Great Eight, Mister 895. Is it 95? 65.
895.
95? Okay. Mr. 895 out there. So, you just never know what happens. That's some crazy momentum, he was doing great. Now, he didn't even end up playing in this game. Ovechkin did not. I think there was a couple other ones, but this game got crazy. It started off pretty early on. Or was this late in the period? Tom Wilson's penalty.
That was towards the end of the
That was
first
the end of the
period.
period. Okay, so anyway, we'll get the penalties here in a second. The scoring was absolutely nuts. It started off within the first minute. This says so. The official time of the goal was 1 minute into the period. Zach Werenski scored his 21st of the season with the assists from Monahan and Fabro. So absolute snipe. Ken Johnson followed up just like three and a half minutes later. Adam Fantilli followed that up. Then towards the end of the period, there was like a couple seconds left in the period, and Fantilli was the one to start it then in the second period. And 2 minutes in, Monahan scored. So Fantilli was on Hattie watch. Cole Cylinder scored then. That was it for the second period. All scoring was done after about 5 minutes, 14 seconds. And then we have good old JVR, James Van Riemsdyk, coming out there for his 16th goal of the season, about 17 minutes, 41 seconds into the game. So, real quick, these penalties are nuts. Tom Wilson got abuse of officials and got a misconduct. Yeah,
He's running his mouth.
he was for abuse of officials. Yeah, who knows what he was actually saying down there? I don't really know. So there was 4 penalties total to start the second period out at 11 minutes 53 seconds. Corrali and Leonard, so Sean Corrali, Ryan Leonard, both got cross checkings against each other, and then a lot of shit went down the ice. Corrali and Leonard, a rookie, started fighting, and I gotta call Dylan Strome out for this. Dylan Strome should have got a third man penalty because if you noticed, Leonard dropped his gloves. He was ready to fight. He faced off against Sean Corrali. And Dylan Strome comes in there and is trying to hook his arm around Corrali's head. And at that point, Leonard got a couple little hits on him while he was being held back by Dylan Strome. You can't do that. Fighting is allowed, but once you have that third man coming in there, that's you could be holding his hands behind his back and someone just wailing on him. That's why that is not allowed. So Dylan Strome, fucking don't do that. Damn,
Right.
dude.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. Anyway, so there was a fight. Corrali got the best of him. Seasoned vet against the young Leonard. Anyway, there was a bunch of other shit going on in the ice too. It started getting really heated throughout the rest of the game. JVR got a slashing call against Sandin. Sandin got a cross-checking against Van Riemsdyk. So, and then they fought, and they both got fighting penalties. And then, this one was I can't fault Good Branson for this one. He got interference against Tom Wilson. I believe he cleaned his clock pretty good. Because Wilson was then back into the game. So, and then one of the funniest things that happened later, we'll talk about this too. So, now Trevor Van Riemsdyk, James's brother, I think this was the 16th time they've ever played against each other in the NHL, is what I heard over the broadcast, I believe. For the Caps, he got a roughing against Fabro, and then at 10:18, Voronkov and Dubois.
It's Dubois.
Dubois. I'm gonna say Dubois because I don't like him. No, just kidding. So Voronkov and Dubois got Dubois.
Wow.
What am I saying? Anyway, they both got misconducts, along with Trevor Van Riemsdyk got a misconduct. And then the funny part happens. Just about 2 minutes later, there was some sort of miscommunication with Voronkov. Not exactly sure. Maybe it was because he doesn't like. I heard, was it Evison or Waddell? Someone said they're like, don't let him fool you. His English is not that bad. But they're like, there might have been some miscommunication with him.
Yeah. So what happened there is this, because I was at the game and it was
Yeah.
awesome to be at that game, and the Blue Jackets won 7-0, and it was cool. But in that particular situation, what happened with Dmitry Voronkov is he got a 10-minute misconduct, and you are right. Dean Evison did say that you're not. I'm paraphrasing it, but basically he said in a press conference after the game that you're not giving Dmitry Voronkov enough credit because he does speak better English than you think he does. So, like what you said there is true. However, though, even if we put that off to the side, his English is still not the greatest. And Jody Shelley has talked about this, and other times you watch Blue Jackets games, they've talked about this, that he does speak better English than you think he does. However, understanding it is a different situation, where he's done this multiple times, where you walk up to Voronkov and you're talking to him and he just shakes his head like this. So, like, in that instance, he doesn't necessarily understand what's going on there. And that's what happened, is the ref went to Dmitry Voronkov, started talking to him, and Voronkov started shaking his head like this. And then he went off to the bench and sat down. And then the Blue Jackets are on a power play. And the first, fourth line guys were on it, because at that time they're up by 6. And then you had Jordan Harris and Den Matejchuk up high on the point. But those guys go off, and then the new power play unit comes on. One of those guys is Dmitry Voronkov. Now, they did announce, before that happened, they did announce the penalties, and one of them was Blue Jackets forward Dmitry Voronkov, 10 minutes for game misconduct. So, like, they did announce it. But again, I don't necessarily think Voronkov understood that, because then when the next power play unit comes out, he's one of the guys that goes out there. He's on the ice, and I see him skating. And then Voronkov, normally what he does on the power play, he parks his butt right in front of the net, for deflection goal, garbage goal, greasy goal, rebound, whatever. And the Blue Jackets, they do their power play. They're getting shots on goal. But, like, I'm sitting there at the game, like, what, what's Voronkov doing there? What's Voronkov doing there? Why is Dmitry Voronkov on the ice? He should be in the penalty box. Why is Dmitry Voronkov on the ice? And this went on for at least a good minute. And then with 8 seconds to go in the power play, the refs finally catch up to it. They stop play, blow the whistle, and then he goes in the penalty box for the 10-minute misconduct, plus the penalty that he did get, which is illegal player on the ice, basically.
Mhm.
So, and then Dean Evison gets asked about this after the game. And I'm paraphrasing it, but basically he said that, yeah, that's our fault. We should have done a better job about that, communicating with our team and, Dmitry Voronkov, and we're going to have a meeting about that. So, like, something like that never happens again. Okay. So in the grand scheme of things, did it really screw the Blue Jackets? Like, kind of, because you had 8 seconds on the power play and you could have scored there, and that kind of put a stop to that. So from, like, that perspective, you don't like that. However, though, you're up 6, so not as big of an issue. You still don't want it to happen, though. So, we say, okay, we're going to have a meeting to fix that so something like that doesn't happen again. Also, Adam Fantilli was asked about this after the game, and I'm paraphrasing it, but basically he said that the refs went to them on the bench, the Blue Jackets, and told him about Voronkov, and Fantilli's like, yeah, he doesn't really speak a lot of English. So a way to fix this, if something like this happens again to Dmitry Voronkov, if I'm a ref, I'm going to go find one of the Blue Jackets Russian guys. Go find him, bring him over to Voronkov, and I'm going to tell the Blue Jackets Russian guys translate to this guy that he can't be on the ice right now.
Yeah.
And then that issue will not be a thing anymore. So that's what happened. As for the game itself, a damn good game, an outstanding game by the Blue Jackets. That is one of the best games I've ever seen the Blue Jackets play. And one of the best games I've ever seen the Blue Jackets play in person. It was truly an outstanding performance, top to bottom. Really, from the start of the game to the end of the game, the Blue Jackets played an outstanding game. They dominated the Capitals, and they really didn't give them much momentum. You know, that was the Blue Jackets game right there, because you play a game of hockey and there's swings. It goes both ways, where part of the game, one team looks good, and a part of the game, the other team looks good. And then at the end, one team wins. But it wasn't like that. It was just basically from the first, from the start of the game to the end of the game, it was all Blue Jackets. You score 3 big goals in the first period. You score 3 big goals in the second period, and then you get one in the third period. One of the clips I'm going to show is an Adam Fantilli goal that made it 3-0. And Fantilli starts the play in their defensive zone with a big hit that knocks the puck loose from Ryan Leonard, the Washington player, and Fantilli ends the play because he scores the goal. And Kent Johnson with an awesome pass to set up the goal. So I'm going to play that clip later on in the show.
Yeah.
And then Jet Greaves, your first shutout, you make some big saves. That is just perfect. 10 out of 10. That is the first time I've been able to say this all season long on this show, where the Blue Jackets played a 10 out of 10 game, and I cannot say that they did anything wrong.
Yeah.
It was just perfect. Just an outstanding game. It was Kromarchenko bobblehead day. I got my Kromarchenko bobblehead. It was awesome. And it was just a great game to be at. 10 out of 10. Awesome effort, Blue Jackets. Nicely done.
Hell yeah. Especially for living out of state, that was about one of the most perfect games you'd come in for. Like, because at 5-0, I heard one of the announcers say, "This is the largest deficit that the Capitals have been down the entire season." Well, and they added 2 more to that. So, like, they took this team. Now, granted, I know some of their players weren't, some of the Caps players weren't playing, but, like, still,
Yeah,
that don't matter. Your
no.
team should not be 7-0.
Yeah,
And
I agree with you there, Hefty Duck. That's just embarrassing.
well,
You can't play like that. You just can't. I know they didn't have Ovechkin and stuff, but like, that's just unacceptable. You can't play like that, especially on national TV. You got embarrassed. You
right.
can't, when people look back at that game, they're going to remember the Blue Jackets smoking the Capitals and just beat them 7-0 and absolutely destroying them, embarrassing them. Like, you can't do that. The Capitals, to their credit, have had a good season, and they have a playoff spot. They're in the playoffs. You want to have positive energy and positive momentum. going into the playoffs. You want to play good going into the playoffs. You don't want to have games like that. And honestly, going into that game, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be a tough game here. Blue Jackets playing the Capitals. It's going to be tough. But good competitive game. The Blue Jackets can do it because they're at home. And this season, they're really good at home. So, like, they can do it. And they did. But I think, like, oh, this is going to be a tough competitive game. And it wasn't. And for the Capitals, you just can't do that. You just can't play like that. That was embarrassing, especially on national TV to get smoked 7-0 by the Blue Jackets. That was
Yeah.
just embarrassing.
Well, and then like we did end up seeing Ovechkin join the Caps the next day. So after all that fighting, after all that, the Caps being pissed, and all those penalties and everything, they still blew it the next day when he was back. Now, granted, so the game on Sunday, April 13th, ended 4-1, Blue Jackets winning again, 2 nights in a row, for Jet Greaves' third win of the week. And I'll talk about that here in a second more too. Yeah, so Ovechkin got his 43rd goal of the season. Now, that man is absolutely insane. Obviously, he has the most goals scored of all time now, but then also like 43 goals, and he's like 43 years old. I'm kind of joking. I don't think he's quite that old, but I really don't know.
He's 39.
He's 39. Okay, so anyway, as long as you keep getting more goals than how old you are, man, you'll be good. You'll be good. Anyway, that was a minute 10 seconds in. So the Blue Jackets scored a minute the night before, and when this happened, I was like, oh no, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna have and the Kevin's got my picture up for his avatar. There you go. This is funny. So I was like, oh shit, this is going to be the opposite of what happened last night because they're coming out hot. They got all their players in. They're pissed. Their coach is probably like, what the hell, guys? 7-0. It is a home game for the Caps. There were so many more things going like that should have happened for the Capitals that just didn't, and they blew it. But Ovechkin did start the goal scoring. Werenski answered 14 minutes, 36 seconds into the period. And then come the second period, we had Mr. Adam Fantilli once again. He got his 20th goal of the season unassisted, 4 minutes, 39 seconds in the second period. And that was it for the second period. So the Blue Jackets are up 2-1 going into the third period. And who else but none other than the man himself, Adam Fantilli, got a goal just about 2 minutes into the period to put the Blue Jackets up 3-1. And there was a battle the whole time. There was a little there was a fight early on in the game, like within the first sorry, hold on, let me finish the scoring stuff real quick. So then Dmitry Voronov finished the scoring off to make it 4-1 Blue Jackets win. So there was a little bit less roughhousing than the game before. They're all finishing their hits. The Caps had 32 hits to the Blue Jackets 16, which is usually it's kind of the other way around this season. Olivier immediately after Ovechkin scored. Well, it was technically it's a minute 14, so it was 4 seconds after I think the puck had just dropped, and he's fighting McIlrath. I think that's I don't know. He's fighting some dude whose name I just probably butchered and don't really care. But then nothing really. They both got fighting penalties, so there's no power play. Nothing really came up of either of that. Trevor Van Riemsdyk got a tripping penalty against Boone Jenner. Second period, Duhaime got an interference against Adam Fantilli. Goodbranson got a hooking against McMichael. Nothing happened to any of these. Sean Monahan got a tripping against Radish, and Dubois got a slashing against Justin Danforth towards the end of the game. First star of the night was Adam Fantilli once again with 2. Oh, that was the thing too. Like on the 7-0 game, Fantilli was the first star. Like Jack Reeves wasn't even. He was the third star, and he got a shutout. Like I was like, damn. Well, on the game, he was first star of the week. So Jack Reeves got second star here of the game, And then Ovechkin got third star of the game with, I don't know why, he got 1 goal and they lost, but it's Ovechkin, so of course they're going to freaking gargle his nuts about that because, like, it's ridiculous, dude. Like, I get it. He's an amazing player, but he does not deserve third star in that game. There was other players who scored other goals for the Blue Jackets. Like, anyway, yeah. So for the first one, first star of the game was Adam Fantilli with 2 goals. Second star was James Van Riemsdyk with 1 goal, 2 assists, and then third star, according to NHL.com, Jack Reeves was the third star with a shutout. So I get it. So anyway, that's all the scoring and everything about yesterday's game on Sunday. What did you think of that game there, Kev?
Going into that game, I'm kind of like, uh-oh, because the day before, the Blue Jackets smoked them 7-0 and just absolutely embarrassed them on national TV. And you're thinking, uh-oh, that the next game against them, that's going to be a tough game because it's at their place, and they're going to be extra motivated because they got smoked 7-0, and they're not going to want to have something like that ever happen again. And kind of started out that way because Ovechkin gets the goal there. But other than that, there was nothing from a goal scoring perspective. It was all Blue Jackets the rest of the way for that game. Now, Zach Werenski, big goal to tie it. And what I liked about that, the Blue Jackets had a good shift in their offensive zone, couple chances, and then puck goes up high by the point. And Zach Werenski and Ivan Provorov, they're basically, just passing the puck between each other and switching sides. And essentially, what they're doing is that they're trying to get the defense moving and kind of confuse them and even the goalie. And it worked out because by like the second or third time that Werenski and Provo pass the puck and then it goes back to Werenski, Werenski shoots and it goes in because there's just so much people in front of the net that there was no way that the goalie for the Capitals was going to see that. Like, you go back and watch the replay on that goal, there had to be at least 5 guys in front of him. And it's like, I turned to my dad because I was at Armbar watching the game there. And I looked at my dad and said, Capitals, paraphrasing it, I was like, Capitals goal, he couldn't see that. He's like, yeah, because there was like 5 guys right in front of him. But on the flip side of that, we do have to give credit to Zach Werenski because that's a good shot there. And that's what Zach Werenski does. He has a history of doing this where he has these moments. He has the puck in the offensive zone. He's up high by the point, and he just shoots it. And he gets it in there. That's just one of the things that he's really good at. He's scored many goals doing that over the years with the Blue Jackets, where he's got a puck up high by the point, and some guys wouldn't shoot it. They'd pass it. They'd try to find a different option. Not Zach Werenski. Oftentimes, he'll get a puck up high by the point, and he'll just shoot it. And sometimes it goes in. Sometimes the goalie makes a save, and the Blue Jackets score on a rebound or off a deflection or something like that. But a lot of times he's got the puck up high by the point and he just shoots it and it goes in. And he's done that many times. He's got a good shot like that. So I like that. And then for end of the first period, it's tied up at 1. You're like, okay, feeling pretty good about yourself because after the Capitals scored the goal, the Blue Jackets settled down and played a much better period. Besides getting the goal, they played much better defensively too. There was really not a lot to shoot at for Washington. You go into the second period, you carry that positive momentum and energy that you had in the first period, and you carry that into the second period. And you get a big goal from Adam Fantilli because puck's in the offensive zone. It's a turnover. It goes to the Capitals, and it looks like the Capitals aren't going to get it out. But it's a good play to force a turnover. Veronkov hits a dude, and then the puck goes over to another Capitals player, and then Sillinger, he hits him, and that forces him to pass the puck quicker than he wanted to. And because of that, the Capitals player was not ready for it. Puck bounces off the stick, and Adam Fantilli is wide open in front of the net. No one is there, and he shoots and scores. And it was just a snipe, a beautiful goal. Glove side in the corner of the net, blows it by the Capitals goalie. He had no chance. Awesome period there. You go in there winning 2-1. Play a pretty good game there. And then the third period, that's where you really turned it on. And you really took it away from the Capitals. They had no chance after that. This is the other goal that I'm going to share, which is another Adam Fantilli goal. Blue Jackets have a good shift in the offensive zone. Puck goes to Erica Branson, and he jumps up into the play, shoots. Eventually, the puck goes to Kent Johnson, and Kent Johnson's right in front of the net. And it looks like he's going to shoot it. I thought that too. And then he passed it to Fantilli, who's wide open, shoots and scores. And it was just, wow. The pass that Kent Johnson did was outstanding. It's like, wow, how did he do that? It just, wow. It's just an awesome pass. It's just you're like, how did he do that? Just an awesome pass by Kent Johnson to Adam Fantilli. He shoots and scores. Big goal. Then, a little over about 4 minutes to go in the game, you get a goal from Dmitry Veronkov. Big goal. Another just quick shot, blow it past the goalie. No chance. It was just awesome. And then you get a penalty on Sean Monahan. There's a penalty that gets called. Capitals go on the power play. And then looks like they have some momentum. They're getting some shots on goal. But what was the killer there? Pierre-Luc Dubois with a dumb penalty that basically turned out to be a big difference in the game because that screwed them. That took away their power play. And then the Blue Jacket, it goes to 4-on-4. That penalty gets killed. Blue Jackets go on the power play. They don't score on it, but basically what happens is the Blue Jackets go on the power play and they effectively kill any momentum that the Capitals have, and they basically run out the clock, all because of a dumb penalty that Pierre-Luc Dubois did. If he doesn't do that, what probably happens is this. The Capitals pull the goalie, they get a 6-on-4. Maybe they score, maybe they don't, but like they have some positive momentum there. But it's gone because Dubois had a dumb penalty there. But and Jack Greaves' second period made some big saves to keep the Blue Jackets in the game, because you could have made the argument there that, oh boy, that could have been the Capitals game right there, the way they were going. But he made big saves to keep him in the game, and it gave them the chance to score those 2 goals in the third period. Overall, pretty good game there by the Blue Jackets. Outstanding team effort. That was a 9 out of 10 for me. Awesome effort. Just awesome.
Yeah.
And in 2 games, the Blue Jackets outscored the Capitals by a combined score of 11-1. That's right. You heard me. I'm going to say that again. The Blue Jackets in 2 games against the Washington Capitals outscored them 11-1.
Yeah.
Absolute domination. Smoked them.
Against the world's greatest goal scorer of like all time. He has 43 goals this season. I mean, look at Kirill Marchenko. Like, he's got 31. He has the most for the Blue Jackets with 31. 43 goals is insane for anyone, let alone a guy Ovechkin's age. And they shut him down. Now, granted, he wasn't in the one game.
But
he did score one in the next, but like that's it.
But overall, pretty good game there for the Blue Jackets. So that was cool. Now, this past Saturday, the game against the Capitals, the Blue Jackets won that game 7-0. But also, Zach Werenski has set a new Blue Jackets record for most goals scored by a defenseman in Blue Jackets history. Now, the record was 20, set by Zach Werenski during the 2019-2020 season. When he scored that goal, it was the first goal of the game in the 7-0 win. It made it 21. Zach Werenski now has 22 goals because he scored a goal yesterday. So, yes, this graphic is a little outdated, but it's still a good graphic to use to show that, yes, Zach Werenski has set a new Blue Jackets record for most goals scored by a defenseman in Blue Jackets history.
Hell yeah. Zach Werenski, not only one of the Blue Jackets' best players, but still one of ranked incredibly high amongst all hockey players this season. I had something cool here. I totally forgot. Oh well, we can move on. I'll come back to it.
So, next thing to talk about is, I said it, teased it in the show, Michigan Magic for the Blue Jackets. That is what this past week was. Because when you look back at that game, the games that the Blue Jackets played, all of the Blue Jackets Michigan guys played a big role in the Blue Jackets winning all 4 of those games. Adam Fantilli scored in 3 of the 4 games. Scored one last Tuesday against Ottawa. Then the 2 games against the Capitals, the one on Saturday, he scored 2. And then the one this past Sunday, he scored 2. So in a combined 2 games, Adam Fantilli had 4 goals. Just outstanding. Zach Werenski obviously scored the goal Saturday. Kent Johnson scored a goal Saturday. Kent Johnson assisted on one of the Adam Fantilli goals this past Saturday. So, Michigan Magic for the Blue Jackets. That is a big reason why they won the 4 games this past week. And, hey, we said it on the show. Yeah, we like Ohio State and everything. And no, we don't like Michigan. But, damn, thanks, Michigan hockey, for being good at hockey and, giving the Blue Jackets all these good hockey players. Thank you. Yeah, that it is what it is. You have to acknowledge Michigan being good at hockey and acknowledge the fact that they have given the Blue Jackets awesome hockey players. Jack Johnson to Kent Johnson to Adam Fantilli to Zach Werenski. Thank you, Michigan hockey, for being good at hockey, and thank you for sending us good hockey players. Thank you. Also, I guess this happened. I didn't hear it, but apparently there was a Michigan sucks chant at the Blue Jackets game on Saturday. I didn't hear it, but apparently it happened because someone posted about it in the Union Blue Soldiers Facebook group page. And the basic idea of the post was can we stop doing the Michigan sucks chant? Because 4 of the 7 goals the Blue Jackets scored that day were by the Blue Jackets Michigan guys, and Yeah, I agree with that sentiment there. It was well received in the Union Blue Soldiers Facebook group page that, again, like we like Ohio State, we don't like Michigan, but this Ohio State Michigan stuff and the Michigan still sucks chant does not really have anything to do with the Blue Jackets. It just doesn't. It does not make sense. And people chant it when we're playing like San Jose or like the Washington Capitals. Like, and it makes no sense to even do it then. At least do it against Detroit. You could have the argument there. Still doesn't make sense, but at least they're from Michigan. So, like, you could do it, kind of makes sense there. But it's just like, no. Again, Michigan still sucks, but yet, you know, our good players besides the Russians are the Michigan guys. So, no. And Michigan has unfortunately smoked Ohio State the last 4 times in football. So I don't think we should be running our mouth right now saying that Michigan still sucks. Because unfortunately, thanks to Ryan Day, Ohio State has gotten smoked the last 4 times, and the Blue Jackets some of their good guys are from Michigan. So, in my opinion, I don't think Michigan still sucks. Chance should still be a thing at the Blue Jackets games, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous, and I hear it all the time too. So like every game, the announcer will come up over the loudspeaker and be like, "There's 1 minute remaining" or something like that, and then everyone's like, "And Michigan still sucks." It's like, dude, like I'm not a Michigan Wolverines fan by any means. They're a football team, but like, can you let the fuck go? Like, wouldn't it be weird as shit to be in Cleveland?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden someone's like, "And Michigan still sucks," like at like a Guardians game or a
Right.
Cavaliers game or something. They're like, "Yeah, no, we're in Ohio, we get it, but it's the wrong time."
No, but Hefty Duck, you Hefty Duck, you brought up a good point there, which is I've been to crew games. The Michigan still sucks chant does not appear there. I've been to Reds games. The Michigan still sucks chant does not exist there. I've been to Bengals games. The Michigan still sucks chant does not exist there. For some apparent reason, it's a Blue Jackets thing, and my suspicion is it's more of the casual people that mostly pay attention to Ohio State, and then they like the Blue Jackets, but they'll go to like a game or two, and that's all they know. So, like from their perspective, it's Michigan still sucks, and Ohio State and everything, and fine. Again, like, look, I have an Ohio State flag in my background, like right here. So again, I like Ohio State. I'm like Michigan, but it's like that has nothing to do with the Blue Jackets. And we have all of our Michigan guys who are good, besides like the Russians, are good players. So I'm sorry. It just does not make sense to do that. It just doesn't. That's just me though, my opinion.
Yeah. Anyway, we can move on here a little bit. What else we got for us for today?
All right. So I'm not gonna play it for copyright reasons, but I'm not for copyright reasons, but I've been watching this a lot recently, which is 21 Pilots played at the Blue Jackets outdoor game. And I've been watching this a lot on YouTube, a lot recently because it was cool and it was awesome to be there in person. And it just brings up good memories of being at the Blue Jackets outdoor game and just how awesome it was to see the Blue Jackets play an outdoor game and make history. And they beat Detroit. They beat a team from Michigan at the shoe. Something that I wish Ryan Day could say, but he can't because he poops his pants against Michigan. It's the unfortunate reality. I wish I didn't have to say that, but that's the truth. But anyways, Blue Jackets outdoor game was awesome. And I've just been watching this 21 Pilots performance that they did at the Blue Jackets outdoor game, and it was awesome. And in my opinion, I think you should watch it too. Go to YouTube and watch the 21 Pilots performance at the Blue Jackets outdoor game because it was really awesome. It just was. It's just so damn cool.
Hell yeah, would have been cool to be there. But alas, that was not.
Oh God, take me back to the Blue Jackets outdoor game. I want to go back. It was so cool.
Hell yeah.
I'll be honest. I was sitting in my seat at the Blue Jackets game this past Saturday, and I'm like, "This is cool," but man, this isn't as cool as the Blue Jackets outdoor game. It just wasn't. But Blue Jackets games are still fun, even if it wasn't the Blue Jackets outdoor game. Just take me back, but still fun. But check out 21 Pilots performance at the Blue Jackets outdoor game. That was pretty cool. So there's that. Anyways, on to the next thing. So last Tuesday, the Blue Jackets beat the Ottawa Senators 5-2. And as you know, when the Blue Jackets win, a Blue Jackets player gets interviewed. And if you're at the game, you can get your picture taken with that player that gets interviewed, or he'll sign an autograph or something. I've done that before, and I've gotten my picture taken with David Savard, Gavin Brindley, Emil Benstrom, Matthew Olivier, Kevin LeBanc. And for this game, when the Blue Jackets beat the Ottawa Senators 5-2, the player that got interviewed after the game was Sean Monahan. And the Blue Jackets posted this on their Twitter page, which is, there is a kid, a boy to be specific, that asked Sean Monahan to autograph his forehead. Why? I don't know. That seems a bit silly and goofy to me, to ask someone to sign your forehead. But to Sean Monahan's credit, he did it. And I'm going to show both the video and the picture that Sean Monahan signed this kid's forehead. So here it is. So here we have, I'll back this up. Here we have Sean Monahan signing this kid's forehead.
Well, let's just play. I'll talk a little bit about Monahan too. So Sean Monahan is the Blue Jackets nominee for the Bill Masterton Trophy. For those of you who may not be like super familiar with it, the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy is awarded annually by the Professional Hockey Writers Association, the PHWA, to the player who best exemplifies the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to ice hockey. A player from each team is not nominated by the local chapter. This list will be narrowed to 3 finalists and a winner named at a future date. So there are several members of the Columbus media who are a part of the Professional Hockey Writers Association, and they are who nominated Sean Monahan. And in my opinion, I think that's a fantastic candidate for the Bill Masterton. I mean, it's the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication. I mean, he got injured, he came back. He dealt with personally dealt with like the loss of Johnny Gaudreau. His on the ice. I mean, let me check some stats real quick. Just real quick, I got one thing to look at real quick. And let's see, where is he on that? I'm looking for Monahan. He's got 20 penalty minutes. That's like not that much. So in any case, the whole point I'm trying to make is that he's a gritty player, but he's not greedy. Nor is he one to try to injure anybody or anything like that. He's tough, but he's not violent or aggressive. I think he's a fantastic candidate for the Masterton Trophy. I don't know if anyone else in the Blue Jackets. Like there are other guys who have definitely had to exemplify those qualities this whole season, but I think he's a great choice. So good luck to you.
Yeah. Hefty Duck, your thoughts here on Sean Monahan signing this kid's forehead?
That's amazing because obviously it'll wash off, sure, but like the kid is gonna have pictures of that forever, and I love seeing just goofy shit like this too. Like Monahan probably loved it because like there's so many people out there. Like it's really bad baseball games too. There's all these guys out there, many times adult men sending children to go get things autographed, knowing that the players will sign up for a kid, and then they'll like either it's their own kid or they'll like pay a kid to go do it or something like that. And sometimes it makes like the interactions with people feel kind of cheap. Like they only want this to like sell or whatever. And so what better exemplifying of just a kid being excited to be there and doing something fun and goofy as signing your forehead. Because like that's just for the love of it. That's just for the love of the game and the love of Sean Monahan. So I don't know. Personally, I love seeing it.
All right. So we've played this video enough of Sean Monahan signing this kid's forehead. Now we're going to move on to the actual picture of this kid who has his forehead autographed by Sean Monahan, which is right here. There's the kid right there having his forehead autographed by Monahan.
He is so proud of himself, too. That's amazing. I love it.
Like 20 years from now, the dude's going to be like, yeah, I got my forehead signed by Sean Monahan when I was at a Blue Jackets game.
Oh, I hope they put that photo like up like during his like graduation or something like that. It's hilarious to me.
Dude, they got to do it. Yeah. And then people will be like, God, no way. No, you didn't get your forehead signed by Sean Monahan. And it's like, yeah, I did. Like, here's the picture, dude. Here's the proof.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's just great. Yeah, there it is. Hefty Doc, your thoughts on this picture here?
No, it's fantastic. Can't ask for a better souvenir from a Blue Jackets game than that.
That's just good. All right, on to the next thing that I will be talking about, which is we've talked about Blue Jackets prospect William Whitelaw, who's played at Michigan, and we featured him on the show many times, scoring goals. He's one of the Blue Jackets prospects, and he looks to me when I see him play both on video and I saw him in person. I saw him play Ohio State at the Shot the day before the Blue Jackets outdoor game, and he looked awesome. He scored a goal, and he at least could have scored 3 because William Whitelaw is a shooter. The dude can shoot. He reminds me of like a Cam Atkinson type, like a smaller dude, but he can shoot it. And we've shown his goals on the show. Every time he got a goal at Michigan, we've shown his goals. And we will continue to show his goals. However, though, starting next season, he will not be at Michigan. He will be at Western Michigan. And Western Michigan just won the national championship game in hockey. So when I saw that got me excited because it's like, okay, he was at a good program like Michigan that historically good at hockey and just develops talent like crazy. The Blue Jackets with all their Michigan guys, obviously a perfect example of that. Adam Fantilli, Jack Johnson, Zach Werenski, Kent Johnson. So, like, okay, he was at a good program. And when I heard that he's going to Western Michigan and they won the national championship game, that makes me feel good that he's going from one good program to another good program, good for his development. That's exactly what I want. So that's great to hear that Blue Jackets prospect is going to Western Michigan and he's going to be in good hands. He's going to be going to a good school. So that is great to hear. I'm happy about that. Also got this picture to share from Dave Metzold. This is from the Blue Jackets game this past Saturday when the Blue Jackets beat the Washington Capitals 7-0. And in that game, there's a little fighting, a little kind of dirty hits, and a little scrums, a little here, a little there. And, Dmitry Voronkov, as seen in this picture, was giving it to Pierre-Luc Dubois. And again, I was at that game and I saw it in person, and it was really, really, really cool to see Dmitry Voronkov just give it to him, just really go after Pierre-Luc Dubois. So that was fun. So I saw that picture on Twitter, and I'm like, yep, I have to show that on the show. We got to do it. I have to show that picture on the show. So that was cool. Hefty Duck, your thoughts on this picture?
That was fantastic. I think this is, I think PLD being the target instead of Tom Wilson was a good call. As far as I know, during all these other scrums, Wilson and Olivier were just kind of like hanging out, chatting. They're like, we could fight. We know we could, but we don't have to right now. Everyone else is. Like, they're both just like kind of chilling. Yeah, no, fantastic photo. I think this was around the time when they both got their misconducts too, or
Yeah.
wouldn't it have been Pierre like Dubois? No, Wilson got the misconduct early in the game.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I just love the look on Veronkov's face. Like, hey man, you're about to get decked.
Like, yeah, take that. Just take that.
So I love it. I love it.
That was cool. Yeah, so just an awesome picture there by Adam Fantilli. So I wanted to share this on the show last week, but I forgot. This is a little analytics here to show how are the Blue Jackets doing when it comes to scoring goals. Red, if you see red, that means it's good. And as you can see on the screen here, there is a lot of red on this chart here, showing that yes, the Blue Jackets are doing good, and the analytics back that up. That they're doing really good. There is a lot of red on that chart.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I remember looking at this chart, and then the last few games, I was kind of watching to see if they'd shoot it from that point up there by the top left dot, and I seen them shoot a couple from there, and I think one was successful actually.
I guess if you had to be picky about it and be like nitpick, the only places where they're not doing as good is like over here, kind of like over here, and then like over here.
I can't see your mouse.
No? Okay, well, in that little blue spot in the corner.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was watching to see if they'd shoot it from there more, and
Okay.
yeah.
So
yeah.
It's basically that little blue spot in the corner, and then, kind of along the boards, it's not red, but not blue, kind of middle color, and then that little spot kind of in the corner up by the point, not doing as well. But other than that, there's a lot of red, and that the Blue Jackets are doing well offensively, and the analytics back that up.
Yeah, buddy.
So thought I'd share that one there. I again, I kind of went on a heater here again on Twitter, not on purpose, but it happened, which is this. Responding to what I assume is a Michigan fan, the original tweet was this, which is Ohio hasn't beaten Michigan in Columbus since 2018. And then he posts a video of a Michigan running back scoring a touchdown. I saw that tweet and responded to that by saying, "You are wrong. The Blue Jackets beat Michigan at the shoe," and is a picture of the final score from the Blue Jackets outdoor game, which is the Blue Jackets beating the Detroit Red Wings 5-3. I did not think much of that tweet at the time. I was just throwing it out there, having some fun. But if you look, it got some traction. 16, 16 retweets, 208 likes, and over 7,000 views. Who would have known me just saying that the Blue Jackets beat a team from Michigan at the shoe would get such good traction, that it would be such a popular tweet. But that's just how it goes sometimes. Hefty Duck, your thoughts on this?
Oh, that cracks my shit. Yeah, you never know. Like, it's so funny. You'll put like so much time and effort into like a post, and then like nobody gives a shit, and then you'll just share some like random shit, and it takes off.
No, you're right there, Hefty Duck. There's been some tweets I've put out there over the years where I put a lot of good effort, a lot of good thought behind it, and it gets like 2 likes, doesn't go anywhere, and then you just don't. There's a tweet, you don't put a lot of effort into it. You just throw something out there, and it gets good traction. So get good reviews, people like it. So that's just how it goes. So when I saw that, yep, I have to share that on the show. That I put a tweet out there and it did well, basically saying that you are wrong, that the Blue Jackets beat Michigan at the shoe. So that was cool. All right, now on to the Adam Fantilli goals. So this is how we set this up here. The Blue Jackets are up 2-0 in the first period, and Adam Fantilli is going to score a goal here. It starts in the Blue Jackets defensive zone. Adam Fantilli is going to get a big hit on this guy right here, Ryan Leonard. He's going to get the puck. He's going to pass it. Kent Johnson eventually gets the puck. Kent Johnson's going to pass the puck to Adam Fantilli. Adam Fantilli shoots and scores. Awesome play. So here it is. So there's Fantilli. Now, there were some Capitals fans complaining because they thought it was a dirty hit, but it wasn't, because Fantilli, as you can see, he's trying to play the puck here. And boom, bumps him because, well, he's trying to play the puck. So we'll back this up so you can see it. But, like, look. And also, it's kind of a defense mechanism because if someone's coming at you, you naturally kind of get yourself ready to brace that impact, and sometimes you'll raise your arm up or your hand in your face, whatever. But boom, like, sit your ass down, dude. Then Fantilli, he's going to get the puck. Then he passes it to, that's Van Riemsdyk. Pass it to Kent Johnson. I am amazed at this pass that Kent Johnson did. Just outstanding. How he sees that, how he does that, I don't know. But I would never be able to do that. But he does, and that's why he's good at hockey, and that's why he's playing for the Blue Jackets, and I'm not. And if you look at it, it's kind of hard to pass because that's kind of a tight window. Because if he passes the puck wrong, it gets picked off either here or here. So good play to pass the puck to Adam Fantilli, who was just wide open. As you can see, nice pass. There's Fantilli wide open, and it's too late. By the time that Adam Fantilli, no, by the time, you know, the defense for Washington gets there, it's too late because Fantilli's going to shoot and score. So,
Yeah, the
good.
whole weekend, the Washington's uh, structure and positioning was just god awful.
It was.
Like, dude, there was I don't know if you have the clip of the Fantilli goal from yesterday where
I do
they were all like they were scattered. There was like they were all like there was like three of them on the ice, like laying on the ice, and yeah, just trash. And this exemplifies that very
But
well too.
you want to talk about here defensive positioning? This is kind of good because again, if like Kent Johnson passes this wrong, it could get picked off by this guy or that guy. But then the fact is, like, there's no one here. So, like, if this puck does get through, which it does, there's really no one there to play defense and cover Adam Fantilli until it's too late. So you're basically leaving your goalie out to dry and not helping them out because that's what happened. I mean, look at this. Where's the defense? It's not there. You're
Those two
basically
guys at the bottom are like, oh shit.
right. So you're leaving them out to dry. Like, score. Just bad defense. So, but Hefty Duck, your thoughts on this goal here?
Trash D from the Caps. Like, dude, how are y'all? And then look, Sandine looked like he wanted to say something to someone because, like, after the goal was scored, someone kind of like crashed into him because they have momentum. It's ice. They're not gonna just stop. It looked like Fabro he kind of like lost his balance and like hit him a little bit, and Sandine was like goes a turn, and the ref's like, don't even start. He gets right in between them right away. He's like, go away. You don't want this smoke, dude. I mean, the Blue Jackets are becoming well known as a team to like you don't want to mess with them at all.
Right.
Like I would imagine. I mean, there's definitely always going to be players who are willing to drop the gloves no matter what. So they better be ready to drop them. Again, it's
Right.
this team. Damn.
So
But sick goal. Love it.
it was a good goal. It was just awesome. So on to the next goal scored by Adam Fantilli, which was where is we got okay, we got okay. I'm gonna find it, but I want to give a shout out to we talked about it on the show, but Jack Greaves, just outstanding, just outstanding. He's played so awesome. He's really stepped it up. Like we said, first star of the week in the NHL, gets a shutout. He's played 4 games in 5 days. Ridiculously good. And I'll be honest, that's something I worry about. I just hope the Blue Jackets aren't tiring him out because they still need to play 2 games and they need goalies. And as of right now, Elvis Merzlikins is out with an injury. So, like, to a certain degree, you do have to be careful with that. So I hope that they're not tiring them out. But at the same time, if he's playing good and they're getting these wins with them, then it's something you have to consider that you have to play him for these final two games. It's just something to consider that you will have to play Jet Greaves if you have to. Um, anyways, so the Blue Jackets posted another Adam Fantilli gif that I'm sharing this right here. So that's cool. I saw that and I wanted to share this little Adam Fantilli gif. As you can see, it is a Adam Fantilli gif. It's after the Blue Jackets beat the Ottawa Senators 5-2, and he's on the ice and he's waving. Like, we won. Like, so that's cool. So I like that gif. I thought I wanted to share that. Any thoughts on this gif, Hefty Duck?
Correct me. I love anything Fantilli.
Yeah.
That's all.
All right. So, last thing that I will share is the goal that Adam Fantilli scored against the Washington Capitals yesterday in Washington. Hefty Duck was talking about it, which is the defense was not very good that led up to that goal, but it was an awesome pass that Adam Fantilli scored. I'll set it up to you this way because Jeff Savoda posted this picture on Twitter yesterday, which is Kent Johnson. He's kind of over here on this side of the net. And he passes it to Fantilli. And when that happens, this happens where basically there's really no defense for the Capitals. Although this guy's kind of in the net. So, it's not completely an easy goal. So,
It's like a Renaissance painting right here.
It is. It
like,
is. It is. It's not a completely easy goal because this guy is in the net. So, Fantilli does have to shoot it right.
And they're moving very fast this whole time.
And they're moving very fast. He does have to shoot it right. And if you look, it's kind of an awkward angle for him. So that kind of makes it harder too. So, it's easy to say this was an easy goal for Fantilli, and there's some truth to that. But to a certain degree, there was some difficulty to this because if he shoots this wrong, it goes wide of the net or it gets blocked, and it's kind of an awkward angle. So it's kind of harder for him to shoot that. So he's setting this up. So that's the goal scored by. I'm setting this up for the goal scored by Adam Fantilli, as you can see in that picture right there. So here it is. So I'm going to play the goal here. Okay. The situation, the Blue Jackets are up 2-1 in the third period. 18 minutes, 17 seconds to go. And Blue Jackets are going to score a goal. Eventually, the puck goes to Kent Johnson. It looks like he's going to shoot it, but then last moment, pass it to Adam Fantilli. Adam Fantilli is going to shoot and score. So it's a good puck battle along the boards. There's Erica Branson. He's going to go get the puck. And right here it goes to Kent Johnson. And right here, maybe he shoots it. Goalie's out of position because he thinks that Kent Johnson's going to shoot it. So kind of going for a diving save. But at the last moment, Kent Johnson with an awesome backhand pass. Gotta turn off the sound. And Fantilli scores. Just an awesome goal by Adam Fantilli and an awesome pass by Kent Johnson. awesome play here. So, Hefty Duck, your thoughts on this goal here?
No, solid. Love seeing it. Love seeing good Branson being back in rotation too. I know he's been back for a few games now, but um, I talked a little bit last week about how the chemistry with some of the guys who've been like long term LTIR or whatever. They came back after like a long time away, and sometimes that chemistry just takes a little bit while to like boot back up, and your speed takes a while. You're going 0 to 100 in one game, and so I just love seeing that like he's back up doing good, and what a goal by
And
these guys.
look, and I paused it perfectly because look at that backhand pass. Like Ken Johnson not really looking, and he passed to Adam Fantilli, and it's in the net.
I can't wait to see these guys play together for a long time. I really hope
And
the
that
Blue Jackets do what they can to keep them together, as well as Marchenko and Voronkov and Chinikov around too.
right, and that's the thing is it's a small sample size, but ever since they put Adam Fantilli with Kent Johnson, it's been magic. It's it. Hang on a second.
That's cool. While you're doing that, I'm going to do a quick update on the Chicago versus Montreal
Yeah.
game. So Montreal had been leading 2-1 for the majority of the game. Recently, Chicago just tied it up 2-2 with 2 minutes left in the second period. So twos across the board. So for anyone keeping
But
tabs at home,
anyway,
game's
so
tied between
anyways,
Chicago.
all right, phone call. That was my mom. But anyways,
Oh, you're good.
but no, but it's a small sample size. But ever since Ken Johnson play has been put on the same line with Adam Fantilli, it's just been awesome. They played awesome. They look awesome. They look great. Michigan Magic. It's just awesome. So just keep going. And then there's the pass, and boom, Fantilli shoots and scores. Just awesome. So we'll
Hell
play
yeah.
this one more time, and then that'll probably be it for me. Be it for me for today.
Yeah, I gotta get going here soon. I want to watch the rest of this. I want to catch the third period of this game.
That's right. So, but overall, pretty good goal here by Adam Fantilli. Awesome pass by Kent Johnson to set it up, and Adam Fantilli shoots and scores. So, pretty cool here. I mean, overall, this was just an overall good team effort because you see Gabranson gets the puck, he passes it to Kent Johnson, Kent Johnson to Adam Fantilli, and Fantilli scores, and just awesome. So, good goal there. So, anyways,
Good goal, good game.
good goal, good game. Overall, pretty good week there for the Blue Jackets. Just got to keep going. So, just keep going, Blue Jackets. You need to win your games and keep going. All right. So, like we always do, please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please tell your family. Please tell your friends. Like, share, and subscribe. As I always do, got to give a shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc.
Love talking.
Love talking hockey with you, and love seeing you at family parties and get-togethers and Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter and family parties and so much more. So, I wish you were still here. You're not, but so I could talk hockey with you and see what your thoughts are on the Blackhawks, and I could tell you my thoughts on the Blue Jackets because he liked the Blackhawks, but he liked the Blue Jackets because of me, and appreciate that. So, wish you were still here so I could talk hockey with you and see what are your thoughts on the Blackhawks so far this season, and I could tell you my thoughts on the Blue Jackets and so far this season, and I tell you about my trips to Columbus I've had, and like the Blue Jackets outdoor game, and my most recent trip to Columbus, where the Blue Jackets smoked the Capitals 7-0. So wish you were still here, but I wish you were still here. But shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. Thank you for everything. And
Yeah, rest in peace, Uncle Doc.
one last thing for me. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. It's a fun Blue Jackets theme group that I run. We do marches and so much more. A lot of cool stuff. Follow Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. Follow Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. So that's it for me. We'll get to Hefty Duck. He can talk about what he wants to talk about, and then we can get out of here.
Yeah. So I just got like a couple like little short pieces of news. Caden Lindstrom, Blue Jackets prospect, was seen skating in oh my God, Medicine Hat this last week. So speculation about his return to the Medicine Hat Tigers is there, obviously, but that has yet to be seen. And I believe that the Blue Jackets will be monitoring his progress pretty closely after that back surgery. So hope to see you here soon, Caden Lindstrom. The other thing is, too, I've been seeing this nickname thrown a lot around the X and Twitter and everywhere, and that is people calling Dmitry Voronkov Big Boss. And I like it. I think that should stick. I like it a lot. Big Boss. Dude, honestly, I think it'd be cool if we start calling him Haas. You know, that's like, so Haas is like short for like horse, kind of. It's usually given to like bigger kind of big Haas. Do you remember that from like, what was that, Pawn Stars?
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, I just think it would be funny to. I like Big Boss though too. That's his own unique thing, and that's great. Last thing I had to talk about is Kevin Weeks calling it out yesterday. This evening, he says, if at Blue Jackets NHL had called up Jet Greaves a bit earlier, no doubt would they be in a playoff spot, hands down. They should have sent a Jet for Jet earlier, 100. And I don't know if we can absolutely say that.
Right.
Maybe. But, like, in fact, that the playoffs, like, we're talking about that at all is just still, it's big props to the team. We weren't talking about that before the season. We really, I mean, I wasn't. We were.
Nope.
So, you know, we'll have them next year. And many of the players who are newer to these types and situations of games, like this close to the playoffs, will also have this experience to go off of next year too. So, I mean, I'm ecstatic for what's in store. So anyway, shout out Kevin Weeks. Love seeing you talk about the Blue Jackets. But other than that, follow us on YouTube. Check us out on Apple, Google, Spotify, anywhere you can find podcasts. We are there. Check us out. Don't forget to smash that like button if you're on YouTube, and I don't know, hit the heart thingy on Twitter or X or whatever. I don't know. Do the things. We appreciate you, and we will be back here again next week. Like I said, Monday at 7 p.m., same time, same day next week. And until then, have a good one.